Who the f*** you think you are? No really, who do you think you are? What the dilly? Are you an introvert, an extrovert, or somewhere in between that? A thinker or a filler, or do you think you're feeling detached? Are you a social butterfly, or do you tend to mind your beeswax? Is anxiety the type of thing to make you overthink? Crap is written on your face, or do you hide it like a ski mask? Yeah, this podcast here, these are the type of questions we ask. Do you keep a big circle or a small circle? Are you more of a Steve or a Stefan Urkel? Have you ever hopped hurdles to talk words to a hot person and thought, the fuck did I just say? Is self-consciousness the root of social awkwardness? At what point does confidence turn into cockiness? That's why we're here to chat. But before we get to that, there's one thing I gotta ask you, my guest, and that's, are you comfortable in that seat you're in? Are you comfortable in your own skin? Are you comfortable letting people in? Are you comfortable? I'm uncomfortable. Are you comfortable in that seat you're in? Are you comfortable in your own skin? Are you comfortable letting people in? Well, get comfortable because the show begins right now. Hey, there we go. Yeah. What up, y'all? Welcome to Socially Rawkward. I'm Rawkward. This is my guest today, Ed V from HP, founder of Deegaf Univrse, one half member of HP. Shout out Max.
Shout out to Max.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody.
Shout out everybody. Yeah. That's a banger. Stream it.
Shout out to everybody.
Welcome, man. Thanks for being on the show. My first guest in the resurrection of Socially Rawkward.
I'm just glad to be a part of anything that involves the word erection.
Yes,
I'm gonna start.
It's a high resurrection.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Yeah, high resolution. You get it. All right, so I guess I would like to start. You could either lead this or I could lead this, but I would like to discuss how we met. Do you recall?
Okay. I remember I was probably in the second or third bathroom stall taking a fat shit, and this kid was crying because he was like throwing up over the sink. And oh no, wait, that's 8 Mile.
I was gonna say I'll lead.
But no. I think it's actually a pretty cool story. I mean, I go to the Art Institute in Santa Monica with hopes of kind of just understanding like sound engineering, and I end up having this idea that I want to start a record label. You know, pretty simple. End up meeting you amongst other people that are super dope artists, and kind of just like shape this idea and kind of make me break out of wanting to do a record label, and then from there, kind of just we stayed in contact with each other. I think you started doing stand-up comedy, and that's when I started pulling up on you more because I was like, dude, that's dope. I want to see you do stand-up.
Yeah.
And I think in one of those conversations, you're like, yo, what's going on with Deegaf? And like you rapping, like, have you been doing anything? And I kind of was like on a cold streak. And I think I did one show when I got back from Mexico.
Yeah.
And you came to that and you started rapping on it too.
Yeah.
Right.
You put me on a couple shows. I know the first one I bombed horribly. I was like, I wrote the verse the night before, and I made the beat myself. And I was when I first started making beats, and it wasn't a very good beat, but y'all killed it. Thank you for putting me on that. That was like my first toe into like performing as a rapper. And then you guys had the show with Audio Striker in that like arcade, like in the mall. Remember that one? You guys put me on that one. I felt more confident about that one.
Dude, I forgot about that one. You're right.
I think that was the day I earned Max's respect because he was like, we should collab. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So
damn.
Yeah, that was you put me on some rap shows, and then I was doing big shots in Palmdale comedy shows, and you'd come to those.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But you've always been good at like connecting people, you know. I don't know, when did you make the group chat?
The ones that we have recently?
When did you make the first one? Yeah. The first one-on-one. Then I had the couch too. But like the first more business.
Oh man, people are not supposed to know about the couch.
Shit,
they're gonna be like, why are we not on the couch?
It's the casting couch. I don't know if you guys. It's the same process.
It's Hollywood.
That's the only way you can get in.
We are in Hollywood. I don't know. 101. I want to say, because I mean, obviously that was the first one we had, and we didn't ever think that we would need another chat. right? So I feel like we've been doing this for like 2 years now. Like the whole show's like getting more like serious about it.
Yeah.
So I want to say since then, like probably 2 years.
Okay.
But like, I mean, Deegaf Univrse, like the idea and what it stood for. Like I remember meeting you and like talking about it.
I do remember that as
You
well.
know what I mean? And in fact, it wasn't called Deegaf Univrse. It was just Deegaf.
Yeah.
Right? Like the first iteration of it.
I was like, what does that mean? And you're like, what do you think it means?
And it's like, don't give a fuck,
Yeah.
you know? And to some extent, it still does mean that. It's like the first thing you got to do is not give a fuck. And then once you don't give a fuck, you start realizing what you do give a fuck about, and you put your energy towards that. You know what I mean? Like,
that makes sense.
Like, it's the thing that like gets you past the veil. The veil is a baby cow. No, it gets you past the veil. Yeah. Like, you know, you got to pierce through it, and once you're able to once you're able to like fully understand like where you are in that space, then like start, you know, giving a fuck about the things you care about, like, because then it'll be a truer version of you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, what do you think is the key of like networking and being able to socialize so easily as you do? You make it look so simple to be able to just connect with people, and yeah, what are your thoughts on that? What's your method?
Okay, so you're asking me. Okay, because I understood the question in two ways. And one, I understood that like my method, and then another one was like, you're asking me like why it's a good thing to do that, because I think those are two separate questions. Right?
It was more so the first question, but you could follow up with the second part too.
Okay, so like why it's a good thing to do that? It's because like how else are you gonna build the relationships? I think it's important to put yourself out there, and like, yeah, being on stage and killing it is cool, but like making that like face to face, like that contact, like you know, the people that come up to you and congratulate you after a show, like those people are critical to like your fan base, like you know what I mean. Even if they are artists themselves, like they're giving you your flowers, and you just talk to them, man. I don't know how to explain it, like, because I guess we could start talking about like my method, but like that's the reason why I would do it.
Like, do you lead with the compliment? They usually lead with the compliment, or like
it just depends on the situation.
It's nice meeting
you, because like I feel like sometimes like I'm kind of socially like not there. Yeah, like, you know, especially if I'm like really nervous about a show, and like I usually, that's kind of why I like going with a group of people that we know. So I kind of use that a little bit.
That's the whole purpose of this podcast, is like how anxiety ties into that. Because like I feel like it's so important, especially in like the business, in any business, but particularly in music and comedy, to be able to socialize. But like as an entertainer, like you're gonna experience anxiety, and even outside of stage anxiety, like there's personal anxiety of just like social anxiety.
Yeah.
So like, how do you overcome social anxiety so that you can make those connections?
Yeah, because like I think one of the things that helps for sure is like the glasses, the look. You know what I mean? Because then like if someone compliments you on how you look, that's like an easy conversation from there. You know what I mean? Like, I me personally though, like I'll tell you like what I do, which I don't think is like a conventional thing.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of the shit that I do isn't conventional, and like what's being the thing that's guiding me is kind of crazy. So like that's why I'm like I'm very grateful for like being able, it feels like an antenna type of thing. I'm very grateful for like being able to have this and like use it as a thing, like, you know, that helps all of us and shit. But it's like I remember going to a rave one time and I did acid, and it was like a New Year's rave, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed that every time at a rave, I would be pulled somewhere like magnetically, like it's like I'm walking and it feels like something's pulling me or attracting me. And I would always like meet people and like, you know, talk to people. Like that's where I learned how to have like those kind of social skills.
Yeah.
But it's because I just would like truly let go. Like I wouldn't let anything bother me. I'm just like there living, like, you know.
You just follow the aura or what?
Yes. So I remember I would get lost all the time. That's kind of why the whole Lost King thing came about.
Okay.
And then I remember that specific day I did acid, and it hit me really hard, and I started seeing people's colors, their aura color, and it seemed like majority of the people were like a gray color. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound fucked up, but the vibe I was getting is like they're just there. They're there. Like, you know what I mean? And I just remember when I would get pulled, because I was still getting the same feelings I would get everywhere. I get pulled, and I would like, you know, follow it, but I would seeing everybody's auras is different, because then I would see that I was getting pulled towards a group of people with gold auras, and it started tripping me out a little bit, because you know, I'm a very random person. Like now that I'm older, I do love stability. You know what I mean? There's something beautiful about stability, that you appreciate. But back then it was like, if anything like showed to me that there was like a rule to things, or like it tripped me out a bit. So I was like, fuck that. Like, I'm not gonna listen to this. Like, this is my mind making it up. So then I would turn the other way, because I was like, whatever this feeling is, it's not real. I would turn the other way, and I'd be like, let me find some other feeling, you know? Okay. And it would just kept pulling me to gold people. Because I would see that they were gold. Nice. And I already knew the vibe, because as soon as I would walk in there, it would just be a connection. And then I was like, still like, fuck this. I can't, like this can't be real. So then I started talking to gray people, dude. And they were just like, I'm just like, you guys have a good one. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was just extremely difficult. Yeah. And, you know, that was like the first time I ever like really understood it in a way. And then after that, like, for some reason, I go to events and still have that feeling. And every time I walk up to or I talk to, like, it leads me to like the right people. And then I think performing on stage and seeing me perform and me seeing other people perform, I think that like amplifies that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And since I'm so aware of it now, I just kind of let it like take over, like, yeah, and just it's like a dance almost. Like,
so you have like a built-in intuition.
Feels like it.
Well, that's awesome. That's cool, man. It's cool that you get to use that,
because it's just in the thing of like how you said like you know, it's to me it's so important to be able to utilize this because of like what I'm involved with, you know, with all the people like that we're working with, you know, in the Deegaf Univrse. Like it makes me work extra harder in that direction, and it's like if I would have just had this for me, I don't think I would be using it in the way that I'm using it. Yeah, I feel like I always say this. I feel like I'd be further along career wise. Like I'd probably be bigger, but I might not. I might not even be alive. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I know I would be lonely as fuck, and I wouldn't be enjoying it as much as I am enjoying it now. You know, because group building, community and building, it takes time. Yeah. It's a very long process, and it's a lot more rewarding though, man.
It is definitely. Like the other day we had that show, and like, you know, you were like, who wants to be on this? And I was like, if you're gonna be on it, I'll be on it. And then Speakeasy's on it, and then Fran's on it, and then Kid was supposed to be on it, and DJ Kai's like, he's DJing. And it's it's like a family reunion. How am I gonna miss this? You know, it's once you build that community, it's like it's more fun to go to the events just to like, you know, just see the fam at that point.
Yeah, at that point it's a hang. When you start performing around other people that you consider your colleagues, your close friends, it's a hang. I mean, you pretty much hear a lot of comedians talk about it in podcasts, the green room hang, you know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like we have that with the artists, like, yeah, and that makes the show even better because like that show again, I remember you went second, right? Tell me why everyone else killed it after that.
Yeah.
It's because you set the tone. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people fuck around sometimes at shows.
Yeah.
And when you're around people that really care and they're also like your colleagues or friends, like they make you work on another level.
Definitely.
And so when you came in and you did that, like the energy carried on. And it was crazy because like it was Speakeasy, and then it was Fran, and then it was me.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, like, you know, just off the bat, like to follow Fran, I mean Speakeasy and Fran, like that's tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're incredible.
And but instead, like, and I feel like the same way with you, you know, and I feel like you probably feel the same way about us. Like it doesn't matter where we are on the list, but the fact that we're just like carrying that energy, to the next stage. I don't even want to say level, right? Because I feel like it's the next stage because in a story it's like the next chapter or whatever. You know what I mean? Like levels kind of imply that someone is higher than others. Like no, like there's like at this point it's stages because like are you the headliner?
Yeah.
Because that should be the highest level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you look at the show as like stages, like how does
that more emphasizes the journey than the competition.
Yes. And I believe like if I go on stage and I leave it all on the stage, wherever I end up, like the next person picks it up and does with it, you know, and sometimes like you notice like, oh, this artist didn't do this, or this artist didn't walk out into the crowd or something. And then it's like you see the great artists pick that up and it add to the dynamic. You know, they do more. It evolves, you know what I mean? And I think that's what the best thing is when you're performing with other friends, you know, other colleagues. I think that's like my favorite part about it. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so you're starting to do comedy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've experienced this yet, because I mean, maybe you might have experienced this too with rap when you were first starting out. Just right now, I feel like you're at a point where it probably doesn't happen anymore with rap, but with comedy, I don't know if it ever stops, which is like sometimes you'll have a bad set or you'll see someone have a bad set. Is the encounter afterwards awkward, and how do you deal with that? If whether you had a bad set and you felt it, and then like, do you expect them to say good set anyway, and vice versa? If someone came off stage and they had a bad set, do you feel compelled to say good set just anyway to be polite, or what is your? I never know what to do at this point, so I was just like, this is a genuine question I have, because I'm like, because I don't want to lie to them and say good set when they know it's not a good set.
This is hilarious because it's making me sweat. Like I feel like this is I think this is where I'm happy. Like if I have a bad set, let's start off there. If I have a bad set, because this is music or comedy, like for sure. If I have a bad set, I feel like that's when I become the most egocentric motherfucker ever. That like I don't care about anybody says because I'm dwelling on it. Yeah. So like I'm like, damn, like I fucked up. Like it takes me a while to get over it.
Yeah. I
eventually do figure out a way to get over it because I realize like this is not gonna bug me for the rest of my life. Like no, fuck no. But like I feel like it doesn't in that period of mourning. I think I'm like unreachable. Like I think I'm just gonna have to like get through it. Like I think you could tell me whatever you want, because I feel like if you tell me that I did bad, like I might listen to you if there's like nuggets of like things that I need to pay attention to.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah. But like I don't know. I feel like even then, like I still have to just go through the emotion.
So do you feel like it would make it harder to network after you had a bad set?
Ooh. So luckily, I feel like everything as far as like bad sets goes is just been tied to like open mics. Because that's where I'm going like wild or doing new shit.
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm at shows, I'm more polished. Right? Okay. Even if it feels like random or kind of in the moment, like a lot of the stuff that I do is pretty much been tried and tested at like an open mic.
Yeah.
So I feel like open mics is mostly people that know me or I don't care.
Okay.
Like, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm not looking for like a crazy opportunity,
Yeah.
you know, but.
Okay, so now the opposite. If someone has a bad set and they come up to you afterwards to socialize, do you say, "Hey, good set," or do you just like not talk about the set?
Is this my water, dude?
Yeah, you can
I'm
have the
trying
water.
to like
I assume
answer the question.
I assume if they put their fist out to you after the set, you're gonna give them the fist bump, right? Regardless.
No, yeah, I'm gonna be a human being.
I'll be human.
I'm gonna be recognizing them, dude.
Yeah.
I think everybody deserves to be recognized.
Okay, but if they look bummed out, like they know, like they felt it, you know, like because you could tell when you're not getting laughs, and like if it's that bad, you know,
okay.
and they're coming down just completely.
It's tough because it's like what is the connection? Like if it's somebody close,
yeah,
then it's like you can.
What if it's someone you just met that night that was sitting next to you? Like you kind of like became friends before, like you just started, you signed up next to him at the sign up spot, and now you guys are talking a little bit, and you're like, "All right, I'm excited to see you, man." And
all right, can we like role play it? Like, like be the guy coming off stage, and then like how does this work out? Because I feel like that's the best way.
Well, all right, guys, that's my time, I guess. All right, and then walking, and then yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I wouldn't reach for the fist bump personally. I'd feel like I don't want you to do it because I know it's bad, you know? So I just feel weird about it.
Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like I think if you know that you bombed, I think that's easier to like deal with.
Yeah.
I think it's the delusional people.
Yeah.
That I think like,
yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. Like that's what I'll do. I'm like, yeah, dude. Because I think I remember having this conversation with Zigzag where we were like, you know, someone comes up to you and they're like, dude, like that was fucking dope. Like your set was fire. Yeah. And then like they're like you're inclined to be like, oh, you too, man. Like
yes, exactly. If they went before you, like, you gotta say, well, what if it wasn't fire?
You know what I mean? So I'm just learning to just live in the moment and be like, oh, dude, thank you. I
do that a lot too.
Thank
but then
you.
I feel like
especially if like I don't mean it if I say it back, because I feel like like maybe in this situation it's like more for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I also feel like what was I gonna say? Like goddamn it, I lost it. What would you just say?
But yeah, it's like more for you. I don't know, like I think that like you gotta like
also when you tell them like when they tell you good set, right?
Yeah.
And then you missed their set.
Oh.
I guess you tell me I missed your set. I don't know, but like
dude, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better just to like not say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like the less information the better.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? This is like part of the socializing and the networking. Yeah. This is a good tidbit of information, dude. Mystery, like be very aloof. like sometimes it's good to make people think that you're dumber, just because like they'll be like, oh, okay, like they won't question it. You know what I mean? Oh, that's just the vibe. But this is just like random people. I'm not talking about like people that you know what I mean? But it's like in those kind of situations, just be very aloof, dude.
Yeah.
Just be very aloof.
Hell yeah.
The word sounds cool too.
Yeah.
Aloofa.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I feel like you would hope that they could take constructive criticism and that they're in the process, right? And they don't think that they're at the final product.
Yeah.
But people surprise you, man.
How would you approach this? Would you approach this if you hear a comic doing a joke you've heard elsewhere? Do you tell the comic?
If I know him, yes.
Okay.
If I know him, yes. If I'm comfortable with him, yes. But
you wouldn't tell
an
open micer?
Nah, dude. it's like, what if he knows?
What
Like,
if he
you know,
knows?
like, what if he knows, dude?
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck. And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
dude, I don't know.
Hmm.
I feel like I would tell them if if someone said your joke,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If someone said your joke, I'd be like, oh, I would try to figure out if they know you first off. You know what I mean?
You'd
Like,
be slick about it.
yeah, dude, I would be super slick about it because I'd be like, I want to catch you in your fucking lie, and I want you to know that I caught you, so that you can correct your behavior. Like,
Oh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? But it's like, yeah, I love doing that shit.
It's a
Again,
chestnut
but it's like
checkers.
being aloof is like the greatest weapon ever because like then they feel like it's their conscience playing with them. You know what I mean? Because I'm not really revealing that I know anything,
Yeah.
but I'm asking the right questions to make them feel guilty, and it's like, fuck, dude.
Fuck
Again,
yeah.
dude, aloof.
That's hilarious.
It's
mental
very
jiu-jitsu,
yeah,
bro.
dude. It just helps. It helps you, man. You're working from like a place of neutrality and peace.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's sick, dude.
but yeah, dude. Yeah, I would depend. It would just depend if like I feel comfortable enough with the person, and but if it's like an open micer and it's like I'd rather just like not. I just be like I just would make a note of it, you know, be like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So, what made you want to try comedy?
Oh, dude. It's crazy. So I feel like the same way hip hop was like an escape for me, like as a kid, you know. Eminem was the first kind of rapper that I got into.
Shout out Eminem.
Yeah.
Go.
And I feel like when I first listened to him, he was like, because it was either Spanish music or Radio Disney. I just remember that being the vibe, right? And like he was the first person I heard cuss like that and really express feelings or sentiments that I felt as a kid, and I really related to him, you know. So like it was a shit. What was the question again?
What made you want to get into comedy?
Okay. Damn, I don't even know where I was going with that. But essentially, just
Eminem's comical.
Oh no, yeah, I was relating comedy to rap in how like it influenced me as a kid and how it was a part of my life.
Mhm.
I remember Gabriel Iglesias being
Fluffy.
that person. Actually, George Lopez actually would be like my first introduction. But I was like a combination of both. I remember the racist gift basket. You know what I mean? Like as a kid,
Yeah.
like the same way that I got turned on to Dance with the Devil by Immortal Technique. You know,
Classic.
It was like somebody that you knew introduced you to it.
Yeah.
And that same person had the racist gift basket jokes. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, dude, you gotta check this out. Like it was a situation, and I remember making CDs with like comedy on them too.
Oh wow.
And I would listen to them. It was like again mostly George Lopez, Gabriel Iglesias, Latin Kings of Comedy.
Yeah.
You know, I was a big fan of that. I was a super huge fan of Latin Hispanic comics.
Yeah.
And then got older and found out about like Richard Pryor and then Eddie Murphy. Even though I watched him a lot, I didn't really understand that he was a stand-up and like what that was and how much of an impact. Chris Rock, what's his name? The pimp.
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams, dude.
The pimp,
dude.
Was.
Yeah, like it's like those were people that really caught my attention, and so I'm in this place, as an artist because I wanted to evolve from just being a rapper. I don't know, just I wanted to be like an all-around artist. Like I think artists should be multifaceted,
Definitely,
because that's art, like whatever intention and passion you have, like you can apply it to whatever it is that you're interested in.
Yes.
And I saw you do that like with comedy, and then I got to the point where I remember like we'd be in situations where I would be talking to you and then we'd come up with funny stuff and you're like, damn dude, like like that sounds funny. Like you would you mind if I use that? And I was like, dude, I don't do comedy. What the fuck? Like I want that shit to live. Like that's art, you know? I want the art to live. And then it just got to a point where I started getting comfortable with like, okay, like it's like this obviously thinks that my mind's funny, and I'm seeing you do like the process of it and growing in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sparked this idea. And then we finally did a comedy show. It was my first comedy show.
Yeah.
Like years ago. And it was like at a pizza shop, remember? And I invited you.
Yeah, it was outside of like a Pizza Rev or something.
Yeah, it was
similar.
Pizza Rev. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It was a couple buddies, because I remember my buddy had a YouTube channel, and if he got like 500 subscribers, he was gonna do something. And I told him, you should do stand up, because I thought he was funny. He was a funny guy. His name is Eric. You remember Eric?
Yeah.
Eric Bellamy. Shout out.
Shout out Eric.
And he finally came up to me one day because it's like a gaming channel, and he's like, dude, guess what? And he's like, what? He's like, I got the 500 subscribers. I have to do the stand up now because that's why I got it. They wanted to see me do stand up. And guess what? Since you're the one that gave me the idea, you're doing stand up. Dude, that whole day, I remember I had a tablet. Dude, I was writing joke after joke after joke because I was like, I need to have material. Like, what the fuck? I'm so unprepared. Like, you know what I mean? And then I remember.
How much time did you have to prepare? When was?
Dude,
from what I told you?
Probably like. I mean, when did I tell you? Do you remember?
I don't. No.
I feel like you were a working comic already, so that's probably why you're like, oh, I could do this much time.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't remember how much time you told me it was, but it felt like a lot of time. I don't know if I planned that much time, but it felt like a lot of time. It was like 10 minutes. No. I feel like it's.
Who, me?
Well, both of us. I don't know.
Yeah, I just kept going. Like I remember, but I remember like my jokes compared to now, because I was making a lot of rapper jokes. So I was really leaning into the idea that I was a rapper, and I remember one of the comedians, she told me that like, oh, dude, you were funny. Like they didn't get your jokes. Like you were funny. It's like, but it made me realize like, oh, okay, like the jokes I did that day, like that's some BET shit. Like if I did it in front of people that understood like the rap community and the rap world, you know, it'd make more sense.
Yeah.
But it was like my first insight into the world, and I was okay with that. Like I was happy with that. Like I was like, I did it, you know, it was fun. But then like watching a lot of comedian podcasts, you just start kind of getting the bug again.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when they're always talking about like their process and how they do stuff. So this is like inside baseball and shit.
Definitely.
And I'm just like, dude, like the fuck? Like this, the reason why I started rapping, again, it correlates. I feel like I'm kind of realizing this. Eazy-E was the reason I rap, because Eazy-E rapping made me feel like I could rap too. Oh, it's this easy. I could do it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what no, I don't know what it is they did. Maybe the way they delivered everything, it just you know. So I'm doing this and I'm feeling it, and you're over here doing that, and then I'm just like, you know what? And I started telling you that, and then you were just like super supportive. You're like, dude, do it, just do it, fuck it, like see what happens. And I got brave a couple times, and I did it a couple times, and then I started hanging out with Ronan. And shout out Ronan. Yeah, shout out Ronan. And Ronan, in my opinion, is someone I am very thankful for because of the way he approaches it. You know what I mean? It's like it's the same way that I would approach rap, and it's like competitive. It's like sword sharpens sword. Like, you know what I mean? We're here to do a job. Like we gotta do a good job. Like, and he's very adamant, and I felt like he kind of like inspired me in that aspect, and just to keep going with it and stuff like that. So I feel like this might get a little cheesy, but like, or whatever, but it's like you and Ronan kind of like inspired me to like do it, dude.
That's cool. Oh yeah.
I feel like if it wasn't for you guys, like, you know, and what you guys represent to me in this, you know, new chapter of my life, because I'm gonna continue doing it. It's fun, and it's the hardest shit I've ever done in my life. It's so terrifying, but it's like one of those things that you can have some control over.
Yeah.
And that's what's so enticing about it. Because very few things that you could do in life that terrify the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And it adds so much more confidence and like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like it's an awesome thing, dude.
I feel like it's one of the few arts where you could show what you have so far and then edit it and try again, and like eventually it becomes like something like, I don't know, I feel like you write a song, like usually like that, here's the song. I wrote the song, you know.
It's also very vulnerable, dude.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I can probably compare it to that level, and I don't know if there's anything that's more intense than these two things, is porno. Think about it, dude.
Yeah. Big fan. Shout out porn.
You know what I mean? But like it's like the same vulnerability and performance aspect that a porn actor has to like show and display. It's like I feel like that's how comedians are, like, to be able to do comedy, like
a gangbang is pretty much crowd work.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, but it's such a vulnerable thing to do. Like with music, I have the backtrack. I have, I have like even acapella is like I create a rhythm that I'm kind of following. You know what I mean? But with comedy, it's like
they got to help you with the rhythm. Like it's a back and forth.
Yeah, dude. And every room is different. Every audience is different. You know what I mean? It could be the same room, different audience, and your shit will bomb if you don't like pick up the nuances. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And it's definitely like little nuances. That's like so exciting because like you like pick up new things, and I'm also once again I'm grateful like for all the comedians that I have right now. I'm actually gonna have a show on Saturday, my first show, doing 5 minutes. Shout out Darren.
Darren Maddox.
Yep. I have a strong community of comedians that are backing me up and also checking me, every step of the way. They're not letting me get away with half shit or bullshit, and I think I'm very grateful for that. I get to, like I said, iron sharpens iron. Like I get to learn things about the game that probably would have taken me years to understand, and again, like seeing you go through it, like I'm like, okay. And also like the fact that like I have like a lot of my comedy stuff, I feel like is centered on my stage presence. Cause like I have really good stage presence with music. I'm very confident about it. And so when you hand me a mic, it's like I know what to do with it. So I kind of like lean into that with my comedy, and that's why I kind of do say some crazy shit sometimes, just because I'm like, fuck it, dude, like I could say it, But it's also teaching me another level of confidence that I'm kind of like appreciating,
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I could be confident, I could say something very cool, but what's the emotion that I need to display when I say it?
Yeah.
Or what do I gotta like show body language wise? Like, because rappers, it's like, yeah, I'm dope.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, that's right. You know it. Like that's not comedy. Comedy is life.
Yeah.
Depending on what the joke is or what you're telling or what you're talking about, like showing different facial expressions, like
it's very important.
Very important. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I'm like learning. Like I was always told, like when I started, like I'm a good writer, which I took as you're a bad performer.
Okay.
So I was like, but I've been trying to, like, I've been studying that more, and like if you look at like Mark Normand, if you look at his old stuff, or even when he's just trying a new joke versus when it's like ready for the special, you can see how he goes from just like saying the words of the joke to like really acting it out and like really like selling it at another level,
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I've been trying to apply more to. I think it's really important to.
Yeah, man, those little nuances, like when he's like, geez.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you gotta make it a little theatrical. It's a show.
Yeah, it is a show. It's also your personality that you're showcasing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like if I'm just like a stoner dude, like and that's the energy, it's like I still gotta show emotion. Like I gotta sell the stoner aspect, but no one wants to, just hear like someone that's dead, dude. Like no, you gotta be entertaining and it adds flavor, right?
Definitely,
you're adding flavor.
Yeah.
It's very important, man. I that's definitely what I'm learning. That it's not just a joke. something interesting. I don't know. I don't know if you ever had this thought, but like I realized that like the jokes are not the end game. You know, like I thought the jokes and the punchline was the end game, but like they're just like they're just like the framework of the ambiance or the tone, because like let me give you an example. This is kind of difficult to explain, but like I think like when we perform, right, specifically like, or especially like music is probably easier to explain, but you create like your own world and you're like manifesting this energy, and it's like interacting with people a certain way and making them feel a certain way. And I now understand that like the jokes are like the framework, and like you just being present in that moment and seeing the little nuances in the room, connecting it to that, like that's where you find the good funny, the real funny.
Oh yes, definitely.
You know what I mean? And I remember having that realization, dude. Because like my best moments are like me just riffing with something that happened, like, and like but it's like none of that would have happened if I didn't have the framework, if I didn't have the initial vision or the path that I was like, you know, that I drew up. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, I don't know, it was just something that I kind of like tripped out on. I was like, oh, like this is comedy. Like I thought, like, you know, I thought the writing was comedy, like, you know, like I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Definitely. It's like, see what you're saying. Okay, before we wrap this up, I need to get into another socializing topic. Dating.
Okay.
How do you get social anxiety in that realm? Approaching a woman, you know, either in person or online. You know, so many different ways to go about it these days.
Okay. Anything that involves dating, I try to be more like personal with. So like I don't really try to pursue anything too serious or aggressively in a social setting unless it's been like a pre-established thing, you know, like, hey, we're gonna go to this party together or something like that. I have this thing where like if I'm hanging out with friends, like I'm kind of hanging out with friends, you know. If it evolves into something different, naturally, that's a different story. But I'm not really like looking for it, because I feel like when you're like looking for something, you're like expecting it, and then you get like frustrated, and it's like, dude, your whole mood's ruined, and it's like, nah, dude, fuck that.
Just take the pressure off.
And I think you're also like that's what it'll make like a situation where you do meet someone cool, like you kind of just like, you know, oh, hey, what's up, like, you know, I mean, we have a whole lifetime to get to know each other, like you know, if you're dope, then you're gonna be dope, like we're gonna find out that we're dope. I don't have, well, at least I try not to add the pressure, but like I guess there's times where like there's gonna be pressure and shit, you know, because I just described like perfect scenarios, like, and I don't know, man. I feel like sometimes it kind of sucks because it feels like I have to like pursue the chick or the moment. You know what I mean?
Definitely, I definitely relate to that. Yes.
And it's like, damn. So I feel like I have to like try to make a decision, because if I don't, that's where the anxiety kicks in, because I'm just like, you know,
it's tough. It's tough, you know, especially like if you're trying to establish something with someone, you want to show them that you care.
Yes.
But you're also like, but this moment is fleeting. So like, but if I do chase this moment, this woman might be fleeting. So it's like, you know. Sometimes,
So it's but I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like at the end of the day, like, you know, do what makes you happy. You know, I think definitely like if you want to put yourself out there, like put yourself out there, like fucking, it's like comedy, right? Like you're gonna bomb, dude. You're gonna bomb, but like, but through the
That's
bombs,
facts.
like you're gonna get better. You know what I
Facts.
mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just you, like, you know, shooting your shot, taking the shot, dude. I think that's more important. If you feel like you need to, like, go do it, dude.
Yeah.
But don't let it ruin your night if it doesn't work out. Like you just you got to have like strong pickup game. Like, dude, I'll give you an example. One of my buddies, I remember when I used to rave. Man, I wonder where this guy is at. But like, I remember every time he would run into me at a rave, he'd be like, "Hey, dude, let's go dance with girls." And I'm like, "Sure, fuck it," you know.
Yeah.
And I'd go with that fool, and it'd just be me and him. And he would go up to a group of girls, and he'd be like, "Hey, do you want to dance?" And the girl would be like, "Nah." And he'd be like, "All right, cool." And then he'd go to the next girl, "Hey, do you want to dance?" And then they'd be like, "Nah, I'm good." And then he'd be like, "All right, cool." And he'd go to right next to her. It's the same group. "Hey, do you want to dance?" And like eventually one might say yes.
Yeah.
And then like starts dancing with her. And then before I know it, I'm dancing with another girl.
Dang.
But I was just like admiring how he just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like once they said no, they're like, "All right, cool. Like let's move on." Like, and so, you know, we'd go like to different
Shoot your
people.
shots.
Yeah, it's like yeah, dude, just shoot your shots. Just like fucking, I guess the only thing I could say about that is like don't make that your whole night though.
Yeah.
Again, you know, going back to that,
Yeah.
like it's like shoot your shots, but don't make it everything. Like just be more loose about it. I think everyone should be more loose about it. I think everyone would be less anxiety ridden about the whole thing.
You hear that? Everyone should be loose.
Yes, especially for Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, dude. I hope you're loose.
It is officially Valentine's Day. It probably has been for a minute.
Yeah, I felt it. Got loose.
All right, man. Well, I think that's about it. You want to plug some shows?
When is this coming out? I've always wanted to say that.
We're shooting for next week, hopefully.
Next week?
Yes.
Okay, so next week. Okay, so I would have done the comedy show already, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I would say so.
So next week. Oh, music swap meet on the 24th, February 24th. We're throwing a music swap meet. It's like a tattoo day party. It's gonna be at Legacy Inc. And it's a collaboration between me, Vershiden, and Street Team. Of course, like I'm gonna consider a Deegaf Univrse collaboration, even though I'm just a host, and obviously Street Team's a part of it too. So it's a lot. It's gonna be heavy Deegaf Univrse artists.
Hell yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of other artists as well. You know, because we appreciate community, even if you're not officially a part of the Deegaf Univrse. Like you can always affiliate with us because we're very easygoing people. And we're doing it from like 11 to 6 p.m. We're gonna have vendors there. It's gonna be a reoccurring thing. This is gonna be the first one, so pull up to the first one. And then on March 29th, no, my bad, February 29th, we're having a HB Huntington Beach patio show. I'm inviting you to, and I just wanted to tell that to you guys because it's a secret show, so I'm not gonna say anything more other than that. So if you're invited, if you feel lucky, and if you see it somewhere else, you'll know then. But more than anything, I think February 24th is the important day to remember, and March 30th, I'm having a birthday celebration. Man, you're invited.
Okay.
It's gonna be at the Art Bar LA.
Fuck yeah.
And also a collaboration with Street Team because he is a March baby as well. So we're inviting anybody else that's a March baby to let us know. We'll make flyers for you guys. That way you guys can come celebrate with us. It's gonna be an all-white party. Basically just, you know, good energy. Everybody's wearing all white and look fancy as fuck. And then after a couple performances that we handpicked, you know, it's gonna be a vibe, man. I'm telling you, we're gonna curate this one. And after the performances, we're gonna turn it over to the DJ. So we're gonna turn up, and we're gonna get the black lights on. So the all white party is gonna turn into a neon party. So that's why it's called the all white neon party. And
Yeah.
March 30th is the date. Save it. You can find all that
3:30.
stuff on my Instagram. That's EdV from HP. You can type it with the O or the X on the from. It doesn't matter. I usually say leave your X's in the past with the time traveler. uh, but yeah. So you can find all the shows that I'll be having on there through the link tree, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's pretty much it. Stuff that I got to plug.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for being on the show, man.
Yes, dude. Thank you for having me be the erect penis or resurrected
High res.
penis. High res
High
penis.
resurrect.
Yeah, dude. It's already been past 15 minutes, so we can say penis towards the end of it and it won't get dinged.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. We're gonna smoke a bowl. Socially Rawkward. Out.
Arriba las Chivas de Jalisco, baby.